push out of it. Whereas at the moment, if you're arched up and that scrum collapses, all that weight's on my spine and I'm going to take it.
See how you're at 12 o'clock? Just go forward a little bit further. About there, that's it. Alright, so if you know what that feels like, so I'm going to get your mate to just walk around you and he's going to just push it, and I want you to get back in the strong, right? Start. And I want you to get back to where you started. Alright, so if I push your foot that way, you move back to that, right? And then you pull you here and you get back to strong. Right? Yeah. Get back to strong. Right? And it's quick movement, it's not slow, lethargic stuff, it's quick, get back into strong really quickly. So
hands and knees, What do you all reckon about that? Pretty heavy? I can see a couple of things already. I'll just point out, stay in that position, mate. See how he's got this arch in his back here? You reckon that's strong?
No.
What do you reckon he should be like?
Straight.
Probably tuck his gut up a little bit, flatten out, suck that gut in a little bit, drop your knees a wee bit, suck that gut up. He's a wee bit better. He had his head up at the start, he was looking, go where we were, head up. Do you reckon that's the right position? No, it's probably not right. So as a prop or as anyone that's pushing, you want to keep your head neutral. So if anything gets smacked against your neck or anything, it's neutral through your head, through your spine. If he has his head up, he gets smacked, right here takes all the brunt. If you get smacked there in your neck, you're going to probably snap your neck or do some damage. The other thing is, jump back in there, see where his legs are. If Dayna use that stick.
I'll do it both ways, but if that's 12 o'clock for your knee and your hip, they talk about your hip to your knee being at 1 o'clock. So that's about right. What you don't want to be, or for the guys on this side here, is if that's 12 o'clock, you want your knee to your hip to be about 1, and that's about strong. If you slide back, no, so you keep your feet where they are, but go back. You don't want to be at 12 o'clock because you can't push. You're too strong. You're not strong enough there. You can't get out of it when the pressure comes on. So just a little broom handle or something like this, and you can just check the guys to be at 1 o'clock. And the other thing they talk about a line, is if you've got a line, come up off your knees a bit, between your toe, your knee and your shoulder, if your broom stick or your handle goes through that in a line, you're about right. They call that the biarticular line. But
before any game of rugby, I'll always do this, no matter what. It's all about, so we go and warm up all our hammies and all that, but when we're scrummaging, what do we mainly use? We're using our quads and probably our ass. This is something that I use just to fire to get them into line. So you jump down, your hands and knees, face each other. So bind in a little bit. Yeah. So if you can't, if you can't hold yourself with both binds up, you can leave both. Each person can have an arm down. So I'll let you have an arm down on this one. So you come up off the ground, and all we're doing is so this fella here, what's your name, bro?
Kieran.
Kieran's gonna push, but you're not allowed to move your feet, okay? So just push forward a little bit. So he's absorbing it. What's your name, mate?
Josh.
See what Josh is doing? How's he absorbing the pressure? His ass is coming up. So what we'd prefer, push back through, break. So what we'd prefer if Josh there could absorb it by going, instead of going ass up, we want Josh to take it like this, and then he's in a strong position to push back out of it. You try that, mate. So you can let you. So we'll go Kieran pushing forward. Yeah, that's better. Now push back out. Go one more. Push back out. Break. So that's just a wee micro. We can probably lift our chest up a wee bit, but if once you build that up, you can eventually get both binds on, and you got both yours there, and you're really absorbing it. Would you feel that? You start feeling your quads. Yeah. You can put more pressure through. You can apply. He can apply more resistance, and then as you get onto the nitty gritty, you can really try and buckle each other.
Yep. So he's too far down, so we need to get him to lift his ass up.
yeah, poke your ass out a bit more.
I'll tell you one thing already.
Yeah.
So stand back up. Stand in there tall. And when you say crouch, just watch what all their hips do. Crouch. What do? They're sunk. if I was a lock, and say if I was bound in there and I'm in my position, and you sink and you sit on top of me, I don't like that. I'm crammed up. What am I going to do? When I come up, I'm going to stand up so I can get uncrammed. So what you want to do, it starts at the first setup here. So mate, so you as a hooker, so if I was you, you'd come in, you get set. You guys be my prop first. So I'll get set. We're here. I'm binding with you. Now someone just call crouch. Crouch. Not my hips. I don't move my hips. If I sink, who am I cramming up? My locks. So you get the hooker always gets the set from the start. So the hooker comes in, he'll sit here. I'll say, yep, props in. I'll bind with you. Someone call crouch. Over we come. Just like that. Crouch. It's better. How's this? Hold it. Do that again. Crouch. So we're thinking now, obviously this fella here will work with him. If I was a lock on that, I've got two arse cheeks to push against. That's better than having go back to the way you were at the start. They're all just start and then sink, crouch. Whereas now we're sunk and we're a wee bit pushed out. Yeah. We're not that even. So I'll break up again. So I'll just help you out with fella. So you as a prop, you jump in there, hooker. I'll jump out and show you. Yeah. Try and come in. Once he's set, you want to come in, bind in with him. Yep. Bind up. So we bind up and then on the crouch, at the moment you're doing this wee bit, so you want to have your inside leg bent wee bit, so crouch, we just come over. Just try like that. I grab, like me as a loose head, I like to bind right underneath the elbow, the armpit here. I drop my shoulder under and I pop up. I try not to move my hooker, because if I move him, he gets unsteady. Whereas I pop in here, now we're locked, that's when I pull my bind tight, you'll pull tight. Now we're locked together. Break up. I'll show you that we can flip the other way so they can see. Show you that at real time, so jump in. You jump in there, so well. Jump in there. You like to go first or second?
Oh, you first.
I'll go first. Yeah. So I come in, flip round. Try not to move your hooker. As soon as you move your hooker, you're weak. So now we're ready to someone called crouch. Crouch. We're ready to go. So this is just for the locks. Obviously, you want to have your legs split starts. So if you got your 8, once you say, so if I was at 80, I'll be like crouch, bind, you guys coming up. You're up together. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, right. For the binding here, I'll just get you to do that bind that you did before. So any other locks and flankers that jump in there? How do you bind, mate?
Yeah, I'm up through.
Are you up through?
Yeah, got this hip lock up there.
Yeah. Jump into that one that you did before. So this is just a bind that I'd encourage you to try and get away from. As a prop, this bind here, one, it's pulling your jersey. If you're a fat bugger, you might have quite a tight jersey and someone's trying to grab it. The other thing is it's quite loose. It's quite a loose bind, which is what you don't want. So as a prop, we want it to be close that fist and try and punch his cheek. And we want it to be right up in there, so it's nice and tight. So it's kind of like you're trying to clamp our leg off. Main reason you want that is so when we bind, we want to think it as in we think our head and our spine's in one position, but we also want his shoulder and our arse cheek in one kind of a line. Because if it's separated, so we go to that loose bind again, and it somehow separates, he slips down or he slips up, we've got no pressure, okay? No, we can't apply that forward. Whereas he goes nice and tight, I'll jump in there for a second. So if I'm coming in there as a lock, I'm going to come around, you don't want to move your prop. That's coming up, fist to cheek, and you're clamping it, okay? And you clamp that the whole time. When you're in there, so if I'm up with you, you never let that go. As a prop in the hooker, we're trying to squeeze his head to pop your guy's head. But just get your locks just to have a crack at that.
Isaac, straighten up that way so you can just come across. No, this way. Face the same way. Yep.
How's that feel for your props? Yeah, you should grip. Is he quite long? Should they just be like crouch?
We do away with the shorts because one, the short fabric moves, whereas you go close to this and you pull it around.
I'm just going to call you through and just come up, crouch. Fine. Break.
What happens if we load and then go? What does that take?
I'll lift you up, I get jammed.
So it's just you're locked and loaded. When I say go, you go. Right. Go. Right, and you're trying to explode as far as you can. Right, it's not up to the props to get you off the ground. It's up to you boys to get off the ground. Go. Well, if some of us are starting in the split stance and jumping from there, I would get, if you're in a slightly split stance, get your feet together and then go. Right, so you're still loaded, but it's bang it up. Right, so you're nice and strong. Go.
Main reason is that.
Cool, right, let's do 3 or 4 of those.
Pull back.
Mix it up, don't always go forward. Yeah. So you're running back, just right up, doing that way. Right. Where you go? There you go again. Together. Back up. It's a little bit like what you're doing.
You said it front, we're going to fit the box on this one, you're right.
Again, it's me.
Should you try to keep him like that? This was in the league. 3, 2, 1.
That's it. When he's up there, or otherwise I said, yeah, close together. Be like that.
You're right.
That's us on a normal bed.
No, you did, didn't you?
Is that what you want to go? 3, I'm still doing ultras on my groove.
You went back to the slow way. Which normal starts. So you fire that leg through and go.
So you want it to be more square jump.
I reckon if you're say for example if I was there, you want to keep it so you're kind of on a 45, so say for example if I had someone back there, I can still turn and lift. Whereas if you stay square on, it's a real lumbered. You know? Whereas this way, I can push off that foot, or I can go forward and up. Whereas if you stay square on, you're buggered. Keep trying that. Fire it through. Take a break. Get my lift. So if you're going to lift, I always put one hand on.
Yep.
Just step in there. Jump on the back lift. So I always put one hand in. Just on you, bro. And sit. If you don't put that one. There we go. See how you lost it? See how you lost all the control?
Yeah.
You're going up quicker.
Yeah.
Now think when I spoke about that broomstick earlier on,
Yeah.
you've got that jammed up you now when you're up top. Go again.
Oh man. And
Wave it up.
Here we go.
You were a bit naked?
Yeah.
2, 1.
You're finishing a little bit less.
I'm going to go from there.
Keep going, you guys.
3, 2, 1. Jump.
You go up, and then I was taught that it was a quick, explosive movement, I guess. So, yeah, instead of just going down, bending my knees, it was just in the stance, and then coming straight up.
Main reason I tried to break that out of him was because he was doing a real big load, but I think he was going for height rather than speed, and he was loading and then jumping. Whereas we spoke about it and we said that Well, me as a lifter, all I want is the first X amount. I want you to be fast. All your jumpers just need to think about being fast, because if you can get your feet, jump off that ground fast, the lifters will do the rest. Whereas if you start doing the big load, that puts everyone else out, and the opposite team, if they've got speed, they'll beat you every time. Just show us that one lift, don't stuff it up. Might call it. And sit. Pretty quick, isn't it? That's a pretty good lift. But